Hello. There we are. Um, if someone could share this to the... I'll do it. One sec. Official live streams. There we are. Welcome to Tier 2. I've never streamed to Twitch before, so if something is wrong, please let me know. I've put it up to the highest I can go, so hopefully that works. But we have Timgra in P1 currently, with 10 minutes to go on a 130.6. Pole in Prem was a 29.2 or something like that, and it was a one shot, so of course we don't have anything else. So of course that's a little bit skewed. Tier 1, I got pole with a 29.5, so about a second quicker than Timgra has gone right now, but I pulled that out right at the death. You're usually joined by Gord, or Vapor. He's not here, so you're stuck with me tonight. We have Darth Crimson in what looks like a Mercedes. I don't really know, but it goes P6 to 31.8. We have Tafur, who of course I've raced before in Tier 1. On a lap currently. I expect the pole time to be a little bit slower. As Tafur has a moment, I think it tapped the curb, I wasn't looking. But yeah, welcome to the stream. It's very tricky not knowing which car is what dot, but we'll have to manage. We have Dookie on a lap in what looks like a McLaren, but I have no clue. It's a decent run through the B-Tech Snailhead. It's not quite China levels of snail's head, but misses the curb, doesn't want to risk what happened to Tafur. And now getting all the slipstream from the car ahead, and goes purple through sector 2. Now through this long, I think it's a double right-hander. You can definitely take a couple of different lines and be quick. It's also a very interesting overtaking opportunity, which will be interesting. Dookie is going to set a 132.0, goes P7. Stack Delta has set a lap. Dookie, of course. Sparkplug has just done a lap, he's gone P4. Matty goes provisional pole position with a 130.4. Gets out of the way for someone. I think it was Camo Banana. It goes wide on exit of turn 2 and invalidates. Let's go on board with Hines, who hasn't set a lap time yet, so it'll be interesting to see where they can put themselves. please let me know if audio is an issue or something, and I'll try and sort it out. Let's get some better angles for the TV. And it's up to the second sector split. It was a 50.9, not quite purple. I think it was a mid to low 50, so a little bit behind Matty. It looks solid through the technical section. Now here, the most important thing is just to get a good exit, so you can get a good run. Look planted. No squirrely on the exit, but it's gonna be a 31-2. Goes P6 for Hines. Tafur is on a lap and going wide. Also had no ERS, so that would not have been a good lap. Attack. It's not on a competitive lap. That's gonna be Hines. Got no ERS. So with 4 minutes to go, we have no one on a competitive lap. I'm assuming Tack in the Williams is gonna dive into the pit lane. Just gotta close. Racing Tools, I don't want to accidentally write over the tier 1 results. We have Flying Grayson on and out lap. He is the first. 4 minutes, which means if he needs it, he has time for 2 flying laps. He does not have time to go into the pits though. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Maybe Alfa Romeo? I don't actually know the tier 2 lineup that well. Noob has joined with 3 minutes to go. Will actually have time for a lap if they step on it a little bit. But let's go to tier. If my Discord wants to behave. Flying Grayson currently on a 35.5. Let's see if they can close the gap to Tafur and maybe jump up a couple of places. I will go through the standings after qualifying, just before the sprint. Yeah, I now have the roster up, so I know I can now look at where everyone should be. So this is supposed to be a McLaren. I think the orange is a little bit wrong, and we have people joining the track as Flying Grayson comes into turn 1. Luckily they didn't impede, and now they can get out of the way without issue. It's just gonna be a little bit distracting, but you can definitely manage. Very tricky on the pit exit here, because it just spits you out right on the racing line, but at the same time you are in the pit lane, you have the right to be there. There's not really anything you can do. Solid over the curb for Flying Grayson. Let's see how much time they found. Up 62, over 1 second, almost 2 seconds from Flying Grayson. Now down towards the long right-hander, or double right. I don't actually know if it's 1 or 2 corners. It's probably 3, just because long left-hander. On the last few games, touching that inside curve has been a death sentence, but it's not quite as bad anymore, which is good. But Flying Grayson towards the line. Where are they gonna put themselves? They jump all the way to P11, but they found over 2 seconds, so very solid. It's a yellow car, but I don't know what. It's camo, so that's not good. Let's go on board with Matty because he's on a flyer, and he is P1, and we'll just keep an eye on the live table. Here we go, Matty, the Italian stallion in the Ferrari from Wish, comes towards the line, can't improve, Timgra, as the checkered flag has fallen, so technically Matty has some time to go again, without he will stay on board with Timgra and just keep an eye and know he's far back. He has retired on track. That's not very good, Matty. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah, I know Timgra is far back, so we'll keep an eye on the table, but it's very, very tricky jumping between cars when you don't know who is who. So, rather than just missing everything with me jumping between cars, we'll stay on board with Timgra, who is behind but has gone purple. Make it make sense. Let's see if Timgra can find some time through the tech. No. That's not what you want. Noob crosses the line, doesn't quite improve. Crimson goes in. Hines has invalidated. So that is actually qualifying. Matty takes the... Is 1 or 2 points? 2 points. No, point. Fastest lap is 2 points. So yeah, Matty takes the point. And now we're off to the sprint, where the top 8 gets points. P1 gets 8, P2 gets 7, and so forth. But the standings, as they have been updated after Monaco, we had Timgra, of course, getting a P2. Not many people raced Monaco at all in Tier 2, but Timgra got P2 and fastest lap. He leads the championship by 1 singular point to Hines. Here are these. TAC Delta obviously won. We saw the Shui. He is 129 points behind Timgra. Yeah, we have a top 4, I would say, that is within a realistic chance of winning this with 4 races to go, but obviously it's, what, 200 something points to race for. So even Dutch, I think, has a chance. Actually, they don't, because they aren't racing today, but they would have. But I would say top 4 has a genuine chance. And you have Timgra, Hines, 1 point difference. You have Jimmy Pull-Up, 80 points behind. You have Canuck in the Williams, 88 points. So it's definitely it's 2 big battles. Ooh, and it's grey. It's grey. Don't think we're gonna see some rain though. Unfortunately, no rain in France. We can take a look at the constructors, which is actually very, very tight. You have Alpha Tauri in P1, in Tier 1 as well, in Tier 2 as well. 25 points only ahead of Williams, which is not a lot in this league, of course, with 50 points being a race win. You have Hines and Corky in the Alpine being P3, and then you have the, well, I was going to say two Italian teams, Alfa Romeo and Ferrari, but Alfa Romeo is technically Sauber, which is Swiss. 124 and 235 points behind, so they are a little bit behind, but definitely not out of the running yet. We have Haas in 6th, we have Mercedes in 7th, we have McLaren 8th, you have my beloved Red Bull in 9th, and we have Aston Martin in P10. Have they updated the combined world constructors round 9? I don't know which round that is actually. Can I get a calendar somewhere? This is round 11, so okay, it's recently. We have Alpha Tauri in for, oh, here we go. 5 red lights. And away we go. Matty gets a good start. Behind him, it's a little bit dicey. Yeah, Matty has pulled away very... Oh, I get invited to a party. I can't do that now, sir. Yeah, noob down to P6. Let's get the position changes. Actually, he's back down to P6. Sparkman got out. Great start, up 2 places to P2, and now trying to catch back up to Matty. You really don't want to lose DRS, because that is you essentially basically out of that position. Not necessarily, stuff can still happen, but it's definitely not great. Canuck now getting very close to Timgra. Let me get the rosters back up so I know who supports who, but yeah, Northern Canuck in the Williams from Wish. Timgra in the Alpha Tauri, or in the Beta Tauri, maybe, I don't know. Oh, Timgra gets a lovely little snap. Camo Banana tries the alternative line to get a little bit of a better exit. can be good, but unfortunately doesn't get the run. And yeah, Sparkplug has fallen back from Matty. But we have a nice train. From second to P6. You can see people looking up and down. Sparkplug very wide. Now Canuck tries to get something happening as Camo Banana and Noob battles it out. Noob with the inside line. Camo will get the better exit. Actually, he doesn't. The exit on the curve was too much, and Noob up into P5. It's so wrong saying noob to someone who's definitely not a noob. People are very quick here. And we can see the train still here. So we get a lovely... Oh, something is happening behind. We have Camo and Noob again battling for P5, which is what, 2 and 3 points? Actually 3 and 4 points. Oh, something has happened. That's a yellow flag, that's Hines. The train is well and truly here. And of course with DRS it's gonna be impossible almost to get away from this train. But Sparkplug is trying, actually Tinga is trying. As Noob again against Camo Banana gets it down the inside and gets up into P5 for 4 points. Canuck. Crimson into the pits, so that's probably them stuck in 12 unless something happens. I am just gonna check, but I assume everyone went on, yeah, everyone went on softs, so we'll just stick with this. And yeah, Timka has actually gotten away. Oh, and that's Sparkplug going hot into the chicane that splits up this long straight. Sparkplug in P6. Tag Delta is about to hook on to this train as well, which will make the train from P3 down to P8 now, when Tag Delta has joined up, as we have a little bit of a lag spike. Yes, Sparkplug right on that 1 second. Did he get? I think he got DRS, but it's gonna struggle because of course Camo Banana will also have DRS. Let's see, he does not get DRS actually, and that has split up the train in two, unless Sparkplug can get back into the DRS. Meanwhile, up in P4 we have Noob, very close to Northern Canuck, has actually dropped down a little bit though, but let's see, as Camo Banana picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is of course not what you want, especially in a sprint with only 6 laps. We can see Noob flashing, which Camo Banana is going to really like. Oh, something has happened. Crimson retires in the pits, and we have 3 wide down the straight. And it's gonna end Dookie in P6, Sparkplug's P7, and attack P8, but Sparkplug in, I guess, a very bad exit, unless they actually let them by on purpose, but down into P8 and attack Delta in the English 800 Grand Prix livery, I think it is, for Williams, which is very, very nice. Noob, I think, might be running a little bit higher wings than Northern Canuck, because he seems, he gets a spin that he doesn't want, doesn't need. Gets a little bit of a slide on the exit, but of course DRS, slipstream, ERS is so powerful. And he actually gets a very good exit and overtakes Northern Canuck before the technical section begins, and Sparkplug gets a penalty. Actually, let's put up penalties so we can do maps. Currently, Camel Banana stays in P5, but here we go. The battle for the final step on the podium for the sprint. Noob versus Northern. Northern right now ahead. Pulls ahead. Pulls in ahead of him, but Noob keeps a tight line. Can he get a better exit? They're pushing really hard. Camel Banana is also part of the party, but of course has that 3-second time penalty. He just wants them to get on so he can keep P5. Has a little look, does Camel, but can't. All three of them flashing. Also, battle for the lead. I don't think Timgra is gonna get it. Can he get a better exit? Matti takes a very very safe way, and he does keep P1 Timgra really, really close. Unfortunately had a slide on the exit. Canuck will take the final podium on the sprint. Camel Banana will actually keep P5. Dookie comes in P6. Tac Delta. Sparkplug will keep the final points paying position, P8. Tafur is gonna come home in P10. So Matti on pole position for the main event. Ines comes across the line in P11. So there we go, Matti and Timgra will share the front row for the main event. Northern Canuck gets P3 ahead of Noob. Camel Banana got a penalty but managed to keep P5 anyways. Dookie P6. I'm actually gonna be super, super nice to you guys and capture this for you. So, yeah, enjoy that. But yeah, that is the sprint. Now on to the main event. This can be an interesting race. Tingra versus Matti for the win. It's gonna be interesting to see what strategies everyone is gonna be on. As we have Sati saying, "Come on, Timgra" in chat. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite reach it. Had he gotten a good exit, he might actually have been able to out-drag Matti to the line. But very difficult to say. Depends very much on how much ERS they had left, and also wing loads. Um, well, if any of the drivers are listening, I think the optimal strategy is a medium softs. Obviously, Tier 1 had a bunch of safety cars. We had 3, I think. Um, but yeah, starting on the mediums definitely gives you the most options, because if the safety car would have been later, we could have gone for softs. We obviously went to hards after that the first safety car. And then we came in for... No, did we have... We must have had 3. Yeah, because I went in for softs on the second, which lasted to the end of the race, and then we had a third one right on the end, where it was only out for the 1 lap and then came in, because it was right on that limit. Starting on mediums, I think, is the best option. Obviously, if you're a bit further back, starting on softs might not be that bad. I think mediums can compete against the softs. Of course, undercut is very, very strong here, so getting off the softs early, going on the mediums, and overtaking that way might genuinely be an option. And of course, with only 19 laps, definitely not an impossibility. But here we go. The 5 red lights are on. Lights out, and away we go. I see a lot of mediums. I did see a couple of softs. Thank you, Aiden. I definitely enjoyed winning that. And let's go to position change, and we can see Noob has gotten the place back of Northern Canuck. Sparkplug again with a great start, moving up in the field, up into P6. Hines up to P9, also up 2 places. As we see Tech Delta getting wide. I mean, it was a little bit in doubt when all the safety cars came out, but as we have someone, Hines very wide. Going back down to P11. Barth has moved up to P10, and Northern Canuck has dropped to P5, but battling, and goes right round the outside. Very nice move from Northern Canuck up to P4. Camo will have to hold his hands up as Hines has spun. I can't lie, I did think so too. I was a little bit surprised he went on hardens, but yeah, they lasted pretty well against the mediums and softs. Of course, my softs were going off as well, so I couldn't really pull away. But well, the F1 cars are bugged again. I think it's grip this time that is unequal. So we're back to using world cars. But yeah, what happened is EA happened. And Codemasters exists. So yeah. Northern Canuck and Camo had a lovely battle whilst we were chatting, by the way. Camo up into P4. Let's take a look at tires. And everyone except for Delta and Hines is on the mediums. Tack and Hines on softs. So this is gonna be very, very interesting. It's not gonna be that much of a battle between strategies. So yeah, let's go to this one again then. attack one will want to really attack um, on those soft tires, making moves up the field, but currently is stuck in P7, and of course Spark is just gonna get carried along. He also overtakes Northern, but yeah, they can just swap positions. Yeah, I do like people using it, and of course Sparkplug, I think Spark is... in McLaren? Yeah, he is. So he's using a McLaren livery, but not the game livery, which, I mean, fair play. Yeah, I definitely think you should as noob in the red and yellow Ferrari gets ahead. But yeah, as I was trying to say, I definitely think you should do it, but of course it's no... We shouldn't have to use them in the first place, but that's a whole other can of worms. Timgra has dropped to P3. Matti has checked out. He is 2.5 seconds clear of Noob currently, which is gonna be relaxing for the Ferrari driver. Currently a Ferrari 1-2 actually, with Matti and Noob. See, he has made his defensive move, so he can't move again. Timgra goes right around the outside and has to move down before turn 1, to be honest. Camo Banana had a very good exit, but couldn't quite use it side by side, and Noob up to P2, and now Timgra and Camo Banana in the battle. Oh, gets squeezed, and now Sparkplug in the McLaren has joined. The Golf McLaren. You can see everyone very close. Ines, no, sorry, not Ines, Hines into the box. If he's gone on the hards, he can go all the way. He's gone on the medium, so he probably has to stop again. It can probably make them last the entire race, but they will not be fun to drive on, I can tell you that much. You can see all of them from 3rd down here to P6, and even Tag Delta is about to join. Yeah, see a little bit of a lag spike, which we love to see. Oh, Northern Canuck tries a little bit of drifting. That's not going to help you. And now Tag Delta is right on the cusp of getting the RS. But also, Northern was right on the cusp of losing the RS, but he has actually pulled it back. So yeah, Matti, you're not gonna get much TV time. I'm a little bit sorry, but we have a lot of battles here. I will try and catch you crossing the finish line, though. But of course, I can't say that because anything can happen. I mean, we had 3 safety cars in 19 laps. Camo Banana on Noob has a look down the inside but moves back to the racing line. You can definitely go for it there. And if you don't want to go for it initially, you can definitely cut underneath for the second part. They are so close to each other. Camo tries the alternative lines, the cutback lines. Can't quite get it. Much overspeed. Down into turn 1. And Camo Banana up into P2. I thought for a second that Timgra was gonna absolutely send it, but he decides better of it and stays in P4. Sparkplug picks up a time penalty. Time penalties are... I wouldn't say easy, but it's not hard either to pick up. Because there are a few corners where you want to cut as much as possible. This one coming up, one of them. Oh, what a send! Timgra! And he does cut the corner, but did he keep it legal? Because you can cut that corner quite a lot. We don't need Justin in a Jesper stream. This is the PRL channel. Keep it clean. Oh! Noob runs into the back of Camo and loses his end plate. There's a caution in sector 2 as well. That's probably Hines again. But yeah, Noob is gonna struggle so much now. He's going to have to box. And he does. I don't think you can fault anyone. It's just one of those incidents that happens. The car ahead brakes a little bit more than you anticipate and you run into the back of him. It's such a horrible feeling because you know you could have done something about it, but it's no one's fault really. Of course we aren't experienced racers, so you can't really like blame Noob for it happening either. You just gotta keep your head up and fight back. Canuck trying to get close to Sparkplug, can't quite do it. Yeah, what happens in a Jesper live stream stays in a Jesper live stream. That's more like it. Come on, number 48 on the car. I wonder what it is. I'm not gonna do any interviews for the sake of simplicity. I know Gord wants to do them. So if you're listening to this, Tier 2 drivers, next race, when Gord is back, don't leave immediately. You might, unless you don't want to do an interview, of course, there's no pressure on you, but if you do want to do it, stay in the lobby after the race and you'll maybe get an invite. But yeah, not today, as I am not the original commentator. Oh, Sparkplug goes wide. And that is gonna invite Northern Canuck. It's a good run. And yeah, he's gonna get clean past. Down into turn whatever it is. I don't have a track map. Let's get one up then. As Camo Banana had a little bit of a snake moment. Let's see, that's turn 8. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna remember that, so I'm gonna keep it up. Tag Delta is the next one to pick up. Oh, there's a safety car. I'm sorry, I've missed it. And Matty has missed the pit lane. And that is not gonna be fun. Now, what tires do everyone go on? Because Matty is gonna catch the safety car as well. Oh no! The people had to share. The two people share the pit box. Yeah, that's the risk of this. You don't know who you are with. Oh, and Tack as well. Tack is behind Sparkplug. I think Tack might be in the driver's seat here. He's on the mediums. Spark and Northern does not trust the softs. Camo and Timgra does trust the softs. So you have Tingra, Camo, soft, Northern, and Sparkplug, hard. We have Tag on mediums. Noob, of course, stays out. Is on hards. Dookie has stayed out. Is on older hards. Flying goes on to softs. Darth on hards. Hines goes on to a set of hards. I wonder. What would I do in this scenario? I think I would have gone for a set of softs. Especially in Mattis' case now, when everyone's gonna catch up. Just slap on a set of softs and get back through the field. He definitely has the pace to make his way back up, and he might lose out to Tinga and Camo. Oh yeah, Matty should be diving into the pits here. And he does. Yeah, I think he has to. Because otherwise he'll get stuck a few seconds back. But yeah, in for a set of softs. Yeah, that's the right choice, I feel. Of course, if you don't have a fresh set of softs, it's a little bit dicey. Then I would potentially use a set of mediums if I had a chance. Here we go, we're just waiting for Hines to join back up. But yeah, Team Gran Camo, I mean, yeah, the safety car is gonna save them a few percent. So of course, end of lap 10 is when you want to come in anyways, roughly, from the mediums. So it's definitely a case of can you be very, very gentle on the safety car on them? Like, this thing that Camo does is not gonna be good for the tire life. It's better to do it a little bit just to get the outside heat, but try and generate core heat from braking rather than weaving. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car has let or what's it called? De-illuminated the lights. Turned off. I mean, yeah, fine, maybe. Tingra, Delta Taurin, quite a cool car. Camo. Is Camo in? Oh, it doesn't really matter. As long as the admins know. Well, let's go on board with Camo to see when Tingra goes and how good of a restart Camo can get. Oh, that's not what you want to do. Let's hope. Yeah, I don't think either driver got a penalty, luckily. And Noob has had a good restart. It's not gonna be quite close enough though to get Tac Delta into turns 1 and 2. We have a yellow flag. That's Matty. That is Matty. He's had a spin. I didn't quite see what happened. Side by side for P1. Camo around the outside, turns to the inside, cuts the corner a little bit, and Team Grey is gonna get a better exit. Tac Delta's had a moment as well. Can't quite tell if that was on entry or on exit. Dookie side by side with Noob. Noob down into P6. Oh, flying Grayson and Noob. Noob trying to... Oh, he's got wing damage. Noob again with wing damage then. Yellow flags are out everywhere. Where the soft... Oh, and Noob gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding. So easy to do here. The track, or the limiter comes super early. Not earlier than you expect, so very, very easy to miss it. I took the safe approach and broke a little bit earlier, just to make sure I wasn't. I really like that neon yellow on Camel's car. Northern is keeping up very well with Camo. I wonder how new the tires are for Team Gra and Camo. If it's completely fresh, if they saved a set of softs, that is not gonna be too much of an issue. They should be able to, but if they are like 10%, wait, 7%, I think my tires were when I came into there. Pits. Like, yeah, they would have started the green flag running with about 10. So, yeah, then they're definitely gonna be struggling on exits, and we can see Camo getting a fishtail on the exit of the final corner, which is turn 15. Team Gra edging closer and closer to freedom. Can he keep him out? So this is the exit that matters. I think he has done it, you know. He has. Camo couldn't quite get the power down, but he did get a better exit. But he won't have DRS, and that will hurt him. But he's closing and closing, so might be able to get back into it. I think he's running a little bit lower wings based off of that. See if we can get that up. There we go. Now we can actually see. I can't see the chat this way. I mean, it doesn't really hurt. There's not much chatting going on, but yeah, that doesn't work unfortunately. So I will have to do this. I can't see chat at all. for some reason. Oh, there we go. And Northern has now caught up a lot to Camo Banana, who has dropped Tingra, or been dropped by Tingra. So Tingra is now looking very good for that race win. Matty has made his way up to P8. Who is looking a little bit slidey on that curb. Probably running a little bit stiffer suspensions as well. Where did you run? Oh! That's a well-timed swap. And Crimson Darth up to P8. Grayson can't quite do anything about it. Matty now up to P7 and challenge. Oh, lag. Well, you gotta love it. We have a battle for P6, we have a battle for P2. Let's go on board with that. Down into turn 1. Canuck stays in the slipstream. Back down to P7 then. Yeah, Matty cuts back, straightens up the car, but can't quite get the exit on Tech Delta. So back up to P3 we go. Northern goes a little bit deep, which is not gonna help him through anything. Turn 4, 5, 6. Well, it went down, deep in 5, so 6 and 7 is definitely not gonna be his friend, but he has caught up with DRS, of course, and Slipstream. They will be licking his lips, seeing Camo Banana flashing. Matty still stuck behind Tac Delta. Tac has also latched on to Dookie, which is definitely not what Matty wants right now. Meanwhile, Tingra crossing the line to start lap 16. Northern Canuck again stays behind. Is a very solid way to save ERS, and Camel can't really do anything about it because of course you can't, you're not allowed to DRS chicken, and it can be interpreted as that trying to get behind. So I know I did it in the Premier tier. I was just sitting behind Bass, saving my ARS, and there's not much he can do about it. We can see now Northern Canuck still right on the back of Camo Banana. I think Northern is really just trying to stay with him, not making mistakes. But of course the risk is if Camo manages to save ERS as well. Of course Northern has seen that Camo has been flashing recently, so he will know he's lower. But of course if Camo can manage to save enough ERS in the last couple of laps, he could actually defend himself down the straight, because it's not that much of a push to pass sort of thing where you just push it and you go past, because if the car ahead has enough straight line speed and enough ERS, they can defend. And of course moving around a little bit on the straight is definitely going to happen. Matty has gone up to P6. Canuck still, it looks like he's almost tethered to the gearbox of Camo. Camo has a little bit of a squirrely exit, which is not gonna help through turn 7, which is of course flats. So they run down to turn 8 as we have a lot of lag. As the food leaves the session, that's not gonna help anyone. I don't know if Northern backed off to not overtake through him, but a fair play to Canuck if he did back off on purpose. Team Gra absolutely chilling. Is soon gonna start the penultimate lap. See, Matty is still very close to Tac Delta. Dookie on 14 lap old Hars. That's incredible. Gets super close. The AT livery. Here we go. There it is. It's a nice. It's actually a very nice livery. Very, very nice livery. I have to say though, the Red Bull one in Tier 1 was looking a fire as well. Especially in Park Fermé next to the P1 and P2 table. Or the sign, whatever it is, as Northern Canuck up into P2 on the penultimate lap. Matty on the outside before the race has even begun moves up into P5 in the B-Tech Ferrari. Yeah, obviously we coordinated the cars, but of course the sponsors, that would take forever to coordinate, so yeah, I just went with some nice ones with the colors. I think Cher was rocking white ones, so yeah, it's like the TV pod on cars, usually using carbon and a team color for the two different drivers. We just used sponsors instead. You can see Camo, Banana, still very close. Dookie and Matty. Dookie on 16 lap old Hards up into P5. Incredible scenes from Dookie Hoser. Down the main straight we go. Camo has a look, but doesn't have enough in the car. Yeah. Obviously with Red Bull it's so tough because it's so many different colors. So I used, oh, and Camo down the inside. Sorry, I'll take this after the race. Camo down the inside through the long right-hander. Northern Canuck defends it. What a move. Fair play to Camo Banana for trying. Good defense from Northern Canuck, but Team Gra in the Alpha Tauri is gonna win the French Grand Prix. Northern Canuck gets a good enough exit that he will keep ahead and take the second step of the podium. Camo Banana comes home in third. Sparkplug comes home in P4. Dookie Hoser gets P5. Matty is not gonna be able to overtake Tag Delta, who's gonna get P6 on the road, but of course has a time penalty, so Matty is gonna take P6 anyways. I think it's gonna be, oh, he gets P5 actually. Dookie has did not get far enough away, but fair play for trying. Grayson gets over the line with 5 seconds. Noob also over the line with 5 seconds. But yeah, I think Matt is going to be disappointed with that, and yeah, he left the session before we even got to the finish thing, which yeah, I understand him. He was looking so good, and then a horrendously timed safety car screws it up for him, and then he had a spin as well, but very, very solid result. Of course, there's a lot of points still for P5. Tac Delta gets driver of the day. Yeah, nothing taken away from Team Grab. Very, very solid drive from... Is it Dutch or from Luxembourg? I can't quite tell. But yeah, fair play. I think that's a Dutch flag. Fair play to Team Gra, who wins by 5 seconds in the end. Very, very solid drive. And yeah, as you were saying, good weekend for Alpha Tauri. Of course, in Tier 1, you guys lost a bunch of points, which is very solid. Needed for that battle. And again, I'm gonna be nice and capture this for you guys. Just pause if there is anything you need. But yeah, a fair play to everyone. My driver of the day would be... I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Team Gra, personally. Very solid drive, and yeah, very, very quick. But yeah, that is it from PRL this week. Remember to check in next week when we are heading to the Algarve in Portugal. But until then, take care, have a good night, and a goodbye from me.